You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
From the mind of a 2-foot-tall talking Spunks puppet comes this year's biggest challenge. It's time for Bob's Dare to Compare, the hottest game show on TV that asks, what happens when you compare Bob's to the competition? You get style. You get quality. You get beeps and boops and dings and whomps. And thousands of dollars in savings. Everyone's a winner when you dare to compare with Bob's Discount Furniture. Shop in store or at mybobs.com to play now.
We all belong outside. We're drawn to nature, whether it's the recorded sounds of the ocean we doze off to, or the succulents that adorn our homes. Nature makes all of our lives, well, better. Despite all this, we often go about our busy lives removed from it. But the outdoors is closer than we realize. With All Trails, you can discover trails nearby and explore confidently. With offline maps and on-trail navigation, download the free app today and make the most of your summer with All Trails.
Please hang on. Please. This is an official interruption of your local entertainment transmission.
In one moment, a gift most humans never receive in a lifetime.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show, starring Bob Lutz.
Now, I'm a very deep person. It's very hard to get to the bottom of who I am.
I know what you mean.
And Jason Duda. For today, anyway.
Talk about being out on a limb. Come on, man.
Really?
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Stand by for action.
Hello again, everyone. It is a Tuesday edition of the Bob and Jeff Show here on KFH Radio. I'm Bob Lutz, Jason Duda with me today. Jeff with a day off in mourning of the Cleveland Guardians.
Oh, they look good.
Dropped a doubleheader yesterday at home in Cleveland to the Royals. And that thing's going just like I predicted it would.
Just like you predicted. That they would.
I told them Kansas City's going to win that division. Kansas City's going to play San Diego in the World Series.
KC San Diego.
That's my pick. Sounds ridiculous, doesn't it?
No.
On the surface. What if I'd have picked that before the season?
Well, we'd have thought you were
Kansas City coming off 56 wins. San Diego loses Blake Snell, Juan Soto. And here they are, in my opinion, the two best teams in baseball at this moment.
Well, San Diego's playing well right now. They got Musgroves coming back, so their pitching's starting to get healthy. I can't like tear it down totally. I know that's kind of what
you'd like to.
We need to, but I could see that happening. Now, the Royals are going to have to get through some pretty good teams in the American League in order to get there. San Diego's obviously.
They do.
Well, of course, but they're all going to have.
There's some good teams.
But if you can,
with that starting pitching,
you can send Reagans and Lugo
and Bobby Witt Jr.
Salvi's hitting the ball right now.
And Urseg at the end of the game now. They found their closer.
Right.
Which they were lacking most of the year. He's been a revelation. Royals and Padres. I mean, I don't like predicting that.
No?
But that's what I predict.
Well, I could see it. Not sure it'll happen, but I could see it.
Well, of course, we're not sure it will happen.
Nobody knows for sure. I don't think the Dodgers are gonna. I don't know what it is. Their pitching's they're hurt.
The Dodgers are good. The Diamondbacks are really good.
That would be the other team I would pick right now. To tell you the honest
Phillies are good.
Truth. Phillies are good.
The Braves look like they'll get in. Milwaukee, you don't want to sleep on them. But San Diego with their pitching and Kansas City with its pitching, I'm always going to go with the pitching. Now, the Yankees are certainly a challenge.
Well, of course, the Yankees are going to be a challenge. There's no question about it.
As are the Orioles. as are the Astros. The Twins and Guardians look like they'll get in, although the Guardians are collapsing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think both.
What would you say to Jeff if he was here right now to try to be the good big brother you are? What would you...
I would probably tell him to pick another team to cheer for the rest of the season. Just to give himself a chance to enjoy a win. Because I don't know when Cleveland's going to win again. It's going to be a while.
That poor guy.
Poor guy?
I feel bad for him. Gosh,
what are you talking about? You feel bad for him in what way?
I can relate. Like, I'm a Cardinals fan, and I know this season's going nowhere, and nobody feels sorry for a Cardinals fan because we've had our share of success over the years.
True.
But the Guardians haven't had much success, and I feel bad for him. But this was all a house of cards. This team was always going to do this because they don't have enough. They're weak offensively. Their starting pitching doesn't worry anyone. And their bullpen, while really good, if you don't have starting pitching, especially down the stretch of a season, when teams are frantic to try to either stay in the race or stay ahead in the race, you know?
But also, too, because arms get tired after 162 games. Especially your relievers if you're having to run them out there all the time.
When you have to rely on them the way Cleveland has.
So arms are going to get tired. That's just the nature of the beast. Cleveland's not going to go anywhere. I don't think the Twins are going to go anywhere.
Twins are good.
Both teams can make the playoffs. I do kind of like the Royals. I'm with you there. Like you said, the Yankees and the Orioles. Houston.
The Guardians, if I'm a Guardians fan, I'm talking to Jeff. I doubt he's listening. He's in a work meeting. But if I'm him, I'm a little worried about hanging on to even make the wild card. Not that they're pretty comfortable right now.
Well, right now, but if you don't win any more games, it's going to be tough. I mean, I know that. 3.5, 5. Boston's basically 5, 6 behind them. 5.5 from the Mariners. So, I mean...
Well, you better...
There's a lot...
I'll just say this. You better be careful.
Exactly.
Right now, the Guardians are still ahead in their division by a game over the Royals, 2.5 over Minnesota. We don't feel confident they're going to hang on there, do we?
No. They're not winning. I don't think they're winning the division. I can't see them winning the division. Not the way the Royals are playing. Now, Cleveland does have an easier schedule, but if you're not hitting and can't pitch, it doesn't matter your schedule.
That's exactly right. They've got 2 more with the Royals. I don't like their chances at all in those 2 games. Then they have the Pirates coming in. You better beat up on the Pirates right now.
Well, it depends who you get. You have to face Skeens one game. That's going to be tough as it is.
Then they go to Kansas City. Then they go to L.A. to play the Dodgers. They have the White Sox at home for 3, Tampa for 4, Minnesota for 4, an 8-game homestand. They go to St. Louis. They're home against Cincinnati and Houston to wrap it up. This upcoming road trip to Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Los Angeles, and Chicago to face the White Sox will determine the fate of the Cleveland Guardians.
Absolutely.
That's a long time to be on the road.
And then you look at Kansas City, they go to Houston after this for 4. Then they get Cleveland, like you said, at home for 3, Minnesota, at the Yankees at Pittsburgh, home to Detroit, home to San Francisco, then on the road at Washington and Atlanta at the end of the year.
Tough stretch.
Both
teams have challenges.
You could see
Royals are better built to handle.
You could see, though, that those last 3 games in Atlanta, if Atlanta's clinched a spot, they're probably going to be saving their pitching, correct?
Potentially.
Wouldn't you think? I would think that they would, but
we'll see.
Who knows?
That's all down the road.
Who knows?
Here's what is right at us on the road. Kevin Saal, Wichita State's athletic director, will join us at 2:45, right in there today, for his monthly appearance. Wichita State men's basketball released its non-conference schedule yesterday. I give it a C. I wasn't blown away.
See it. I haven't seen it.
And I'll ask Kevin Saal about it, and he'll answer.
Well, of course he'll answer. May not be the answer you want to get, but he'll answer.
We'll talk to him about it. He'll answer anything. And at 3:05 today, Denise Neal.
Uh-oh.
Because you're on. I know you want to talk to her about food.
You can always talk food.
And she'll come on at 3:05 to talk to us about restaurants and food. Football kicking off. Well, we had some games over the weekend. But in earnest, a full slate of games in the college ranks starting Thursday. KU plays Thursday night. And then Saturday, by the end of the weekend, by the end of Labor Day, everybody will have played. And we'll be off and running on another college football season. We'll make our first picks of the year coming up on Thursday's show. I got 8 games, all in the college ranks, obviously. We're still a ways away. Actually, the NFL opens a week from Thursday. And Kadarius Toney cut by the Chiefs. Thoughts?
Not surprised. I mean,
Juju Smith-Schuster brought in?
Not a huge surprise.
Aren't they the same?
They got the same. They're the same.
And Tony's a little more athletic. Juju can't catch a ball.
But at least he's available.
I guess.
Tony's never available.
Well,
he's never available. He's always hurt. So I don't blame him for getting rid of him. If you have him for 3 or 4 games?
Enticing, boy. Athletic.
Oh, absolutely.
You thought when they brought him in, you thought, they got their guy now.
Well, he has got a ton of talent, but he's never on the field. He wasn't in the field with the Giants. They send him over here. Everyone thinks it's going to change. 2 years, not on the field again.
Drives you nuts.
And as a coach, it's like, no, I don't even want him around anymore. Because all I do
they gave him every opportunity. It's not like they didn't try with this guy.
He had tons of opportunity.
But somebody will pick him up.
I'd be shocked
they've
if
got
not.
the secret recipe.
Well, some kind of training staff, maybe some weird pills you can give a guy to say, hey, don't ever come back in here. But after 4 or 5 years, the writing's kind of on the wall for this guy. He's got to go somewhere and actually play for a season. And if he does, he'll probably be pretty good.
Well, we'll see. The Chiefs won't miss him.
No, not at all.
They have a pretty deep receiving core, which kind of made me even more surprised that Juju was brought in.
Yeah, but Juju knows the system. He knows. But do
they really need him?
Well, they need him to catch 2 balls a game. I mean, besides Kelsey and Rice last year, everybody caught. There's 5 guys would catch 2 balls.
I guess. I guess.
Have them out there, throw them out, run a couple
pick him on
patterns.
your fantasy team.
There you go.
Put some money where your mouth is.
What, for 2 catches a game? No, not interested. Why would I do that? That's ridiculous talk. That's something you would do.
I'd love to see you do it.
Well, it's not going to happen. Never. Ever.
I've got 1 Chief on my roster. Isaiah Pacheco.
I have none.
I'm a little surprised by that.
Why?
Well, they're pretty good. You got Mahomes.
I don't know. I can barely figure this thing out to start with.
Are you in now? I like it. It's color coded. It's got all kinds of little features, and I just got to figure it out a little more. But I kind of like it.
Well, as long as you like it, then it's all good.
It tells you when the games are that these guys are playing in, what your expectation is for points. I don't know.
Basically, you don't have to do anything. Is that what you're saying? Is that why you like it?
And then I hit this little tab up here, and it tells me what players are available. If I want to make a trade, I can go here and make a trade or propose a trade.
Have you made a good trade in this in all the years?
It seems like, and I don't have a clear memory, but it seems like 4 or 5 years ago I made a trade that helped my team.
Well, that's good.
But you do that more for the fun of it, right?
I do. I like to make trades just to see if I can hold one over on somebody, and 60 or 70% of the time I hold it over on myself.
Yeah, they usually don't work out. I like the waiver wire, but there's really nothing on the waiver wire. Even with just a 10-team league, there's nobody out there who really...
No, there's nobody now unless... Usually what happens is a running back gets hurt and some guy that we didn't really know of steps up and
Matthew Stafford's available.
There's some quarterbacks available.
Trevor Lawrence. A little surprised by that.
Jared Goff's probably still there.
Nah, he's been taken.
Was he taken?
Those are the two guys. Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson. But the two you'd care about are Stafford and Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
The top running back available there's no running backs. Rico Dowdle.
There'll be none.
Antonio Gibson. Those guys get scooped up. Top wide receiver, Romeo Doubs. Curtis Samuel. Really pretty thin there.
I can't find it.
And then Noah
Too confusing.
You need go home tonight and swallow your pride.
It's absolutely...
And ask Jackson to help you.
This is annoying.
Can you do that?
It's annoying. Available. Like, I can't even... What? I don't like it.
You go to the app.
I'm on the app.
You hit players.
Players.
Available. Then it should show you.
Hey, look at that.
By position, who's available.
Nice.
Good grief.
Well, that's quarterbacks. Running backs.
I mean...
Wide receivers.
Your technology
there it
ability.
Is. Look at that. I got it.
Did you see the new iPhones coming out? And it's got AI?
Why?
I just saw a story on that.
And?
Oh, it's got these AI features. So if you ask Siri, I guess it enhances the ability of Siri to check your emails even. So if you have an appointment, she's aware of it through an email or a calendar.
Isn't that getting a little out of hand?
It is getting a little out of hand, but it's just remarkable what they can do.
I agree, but I don't, that's, someone else is literally reading your emails.
They say that that's not happening.
Come on.
They say that's not happening, that this is AI. And, I don't know. But the new iPhone, they always come out in September, a new iPhone. It's usually $800.
Yeah.
The last one I got is a 14. So it's a couple years, I think. Heck, I can't remember. I might have a 15. I don't know. It does everything I need it.
So do I. I got a 5.
Well, you need to
upgrade. It texts, it gets emails, and I can call. That's all I need it for. I don't need to play games on it. I don't need to do anything else. That's what I have it for. That's all I need. I don't need anymore.
Can you get the Siri on it?
My wife's like, you need to get a new phone. I'm like, why?
Can you get this?
Yes.
Like when we're out, you can get Siri on
yes.
I don't know if I believe that.
Well, I've never used it.
During the break, I want you to show me.
Okay. Well, I'll give it to you. You can try to find it.
Well,
I know it's on there.
All you do is say HEYSIRI, and I was worried it was going to come on. Just say, don't say it.
Why not?
Because you don't want that right now.
Oh, I don't.
We're doing a radio show.
Well, then they can talk to us. Well, yeah. Who knows what it would say?
Right.
I don't know what it would say.
With your emails,
well, it could be interesting. Talk about filling up a 2-hour show in a hurry.
It could happen quickly. I saw you sent me Jackson's soccer schedule.
Yeah.
Which was almost, I couldn't really even make it out.
Well, your phone's big enough. Just make it bigger.
I tried to look at it. Here it is. Say, I made it bigger.
Good job.
But you only sent me September 10th, 12th, 13th.
Well, I'm just giving you a few to start with.
These are varsity games.
Well, there's some JV in there.
So the first JV game that I see on my calendar is Wichita Heights on Tuesday, September 10th.
Yes. And then the next JV game is
Derby.
the 12th.
Derby
at home.
At Mays.
Yep.
And then
the 13th.
You got a tournament.
There's a tournament. See, there's lots of games to start with, and I can send you the rest. Maybe I'll just email them to you right now so you have them.
You know, when it cools down a little.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go.
Yeah, I know.
But if it's 95, I'm not going.
I don't blame you. They're out there right now. They're going to have, soccer practice will be going on right after school and tennis.
Well, that's crazy.
I think it's crazy. It's hot enough.
Currently 93. Now, we do have some relief on the way. 95 tomorrow, 95 Thursday, but Friday, 82.
Nice.
Over the weekend, we're in the 80s. Monday, the high of 77.
Oh, how nice is that?
We are not forecast to have a high of higher than 86 in the 15-day forecast after we get through tomorrow and Thursday.
That's nice.
That sounds good, doesn't it?
Sounds very
Lows in the 60s.
Even better.
Lows in the 60s.
Even better.
That's good stuff. All right, we'll take a break. We're going to talk a little NFL, get some predictions from Duda as we move along here on a Tuesday. Max Power back in the studio, 869-1240, the IHOP hotline. Don't forget, all-you-can-eat pancakes, now available at IHOP through the 15th of September. Back in a minute.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
From the mind of a 2-foot-tall talking spokes puppet comes this year's biggest challenge. It's time for Bob's Dare to Compare, the hottest game show on TV that asks, what happens when you compare Bob's to the competition? You get style. You get quality. You get beeps and boops and dings and whomps. And thousands of dollars in savings. Everyone's a winner when you dare to compare with Bob's Discount Furniture. Shop in store or at mybobs.com to play now.
We all belong outside. We're drawn to nature, whether it's the recorded sounds of the ocean we doze off to, or the succulents that adorn our homes. Nature makes all of our lives, better. Despite all this, we often go about our busy lives removed from it. But the outdoors is closer than we realize. With AllTrails, you can discover trails nearby and explore confidently. With offline maps and on-trail navigation, download the free app today and make the most of your summer with AllTrails.
Worried about letting someone else pick out the perfect avocado for your perfect impress them on the third date guacamole? Well, good thing Instacart shoppers are as picky as you are. They find ripe avocados like it's their guac on the line. They are milk expiration date detectives. They bag eggs like the 12 precious pieces of cargo they are. So let Instacart shoppers overthink your groceries so that you can overthink what you'll wear on that third date. Download the Instacart app to get free delivery on your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 per order. Additional terms apply.
Nothing is more important than getting a good night's sleep. And when you don't get the rest you need, your whole day is thrown off. That's why it's so important to choose the right mattress. Sleeping on a Purple mattress is truly a unique experience because Purple mattresses are made with a GelFlex grid. The GelFlex grid is an innovative material that moves with your body to relieve pressure in areas like knees and hips and support in others like your back. It feels soft where you want it and supports where you need it. Purple mattresses instantly adapt when you move. You don't sink in and get stuck like with memory foam. And thanks to over 1,400 air chambers in the GelFlex grid, you will sleep cooler on a Purple mattress. Purple has a wide variety of mattresses, from the original Purple mattress to the Restore Hybrid collection that combines GelFlex Grid with coils, and the Rejuvenate Luxe collection, the height of luxury, with over 112,000 five-star reviews to prove it. Visit purple.com to find the perfect purple for you and enter code podcast10 to get 10% off.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show.
All right, we are back. We're going to do a little NFL prognostication with Jason Duda. I have asked him to pick his playoff teams. So we're going to get that done. We'll start in the NFC. I want you to pick the 7 playoff teams. I'm going to write these down, as is Max. And when we get to the playoffs, we'll see how you did.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm willing to do that.
And I may even throw up a debate today.
In what way?
If I disagree with you.
That'll be a shocking experience for me that you disagree.
Well, you're usually
right on the ball.
Wrong.
Right on the ball.
All right. Who's your NFC number 1 seed?
Well, until they get knocked off, I'll probably have to go with the Chiefs.
NFC.
Oh, NFC.
NFC.
Thought we were talking NFC to start with.
We are NFC. We'll go to the AFC after this.
Okay. Number 1 seed, I'm going to have to go back to San Francisco.
Even with the great Brock Purdy, who you just don't buy into.
I buy their defense and the rest of their team. Brock Purdy's very good, but he's not elite. He's not one of the best quarterbacks in the National
Did anybody
Football
take
League.
him in our fantasy draft?
I don't.
Yes,
I don't
they
know.
did.
What in round 29?
Who's your quarterback?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Oh, here
Next.
it is.
Who's your second team? Another division champion. You've got them winning the West. Who's the South winner?
That's tough. Atlanta getting Cousins, they're going to be a little bit tougher. Tampa Bay won it last year. I'm not high on New Orleans or Carolina. I'm going to go back to Tampa Bay. What are you laughing at?
What?
Don't
worry about it. Be confident in your pick.
I'm fine with my pick.
Don't worry if I chuckle.
Well, I'm just curious on what you're thinking.
Don't worry about it.
Well, you don't want to share with anybody? Because
I'll tell you later.
You know your thoughts are absolutely ridiculous. Is that why?
Don't get defensive.
I'm not defensive. It's all good.
What about the NFC North? To me, this is one of the most interesting, maybe the most interesting division.
Well,
who do you pick?
I'm going back to Detroit, and I'll stick with the Lions.
And
Green Bay is going to be better. Minnesota is not going to do anything. Chicago's going to be better, but a rookie quarterback. It'll be Green Bay or Detroit, and so I think it's easy to take Detroit there.
And finally, the NFC East.
Giants are going to be terrible. Washington's going to be terrible. I don't like Dallas. Not a huge fan. So that leaves me with Philadelphia.
They're your 4 division winners. Now we move into the wild card. Pick 3. Who are the 3 teams not winning their division, but getting in through the wild card?
Well, I think I'm going to go with Green Bay.
Green Bay. Okay.
They fared well last year with everything. The South, man, I'd like to take Atlanta, but I don't know if I can. You look at the Rams, I don't think they're going to be that good. Arizona's going to be better, but not that good. Seattle, I just don't see it. Carolina, no. New Orleans, no. Minnesota, no.
You got 2 more teams
no.
you got to pick.
I'm going to have to go with Dallas to grab one of those spots.
Dallas. And who is your 3rd wild card?
Oh, man. I don't like any team left at all. Absolutely none. I'd like to say Chicago, but I don't think I can. Can I? Can I say Chicago?
I'm only here to make fun of this after you're done.
Atlanta? Does Atlanta bounce back just with Cousins?
Well, they got some other pretty good
weapons. More they have. Oh, man. You know what? I am. Kirk Cousins will lead Atlanta to the 7th and final playoff spot in the NFC.
All right. I'm probably in agreement with you on San Francisco. I'm not sure about Tampa Bay. They have a pretty good team, but I like New Orleans better than you do. I think New Orleans is going to win that division. Detroit, okay. I just worry about their defense, and their coach is a little off his rocker.
They should have been in the Super Bowl last year.
And can he put down his psychotic nature to let that team be what it can be?
I think that he does let that team be what they can be. That team should have been in the Super Bowl last year.
I'll go with Detroit. I think Dallas will win the East.
Oh, jeez.
And I think Philadelphia will get in via wild card. I think the Bears are going to be much better than you think they will.
No, I think they'll be better.
I think Caleb Williams will be outstanding.
You think they'll be better than Green Bay?
And he's got a lot of people now.
Well, he does.
You know, that team was bereft of talent. They've got some offensive weaponry.
DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. They have tons.
Rome Odunze, who's going to be in the hunt for Rookie of the Year.
Well, yeah, but I don't know if I'd go that far when you mention those other two receivers in front of him. There's not 14 balls thrown around.
Keenan Allen's my age.
Well, so you just said they got lots of talent, but Keenan Allen's your age, so he doesn't count then.
No, I like Keenan Allen, but I think Rome will have a huge season. I do.
Giving him nicknames now?
I got fortunate enough to get him in the draft for some reason.
Well,
I couldn't believe he was still on the board as late as I picked him.
Because nobody wanted him.
I don't get that.
He's a rookie, and he's the third choice when it comes to wide receivers on that team.
You watch.
I will watch.
Yeah.
We had this debate about Justin Fields 6 years ago, Bob.
You
who
watch.
was right on that?
Justin Fields, if they play him in Pittsburgh, will have a good year.
You've been saying that since they drafted him because you were so high on this guy. You don't think that Russell Wilson, they're paying how much money to, and they're going to sit him on the bench?
Russell Wilson can't play anymore. So those are your seven. Now let's go to the AFC. Your number one seed, your Western Division winner. Who you picking?
Give me a second. I need a drink.
You're going to pick the Chiefs. We already know that.
Yes, that's a no-brainer.
Nobody would not pick the Chiefs.
That's an absolute no-brainer.
AFC South, a little tougher, although is it?
Well, I think Jacksonville's going to be better than you think.
You could make a case for three teams. One team rises above, in my opinion.
Well, you think Houston.
Yeah.
I know that. And so I'm going to go with Jacksonville.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Should've
Lost
won the
all
division
credibility.
last year. I didn't lose any credibility.
Yeah, nobody out there's...
Wait till the season's over.
AFC North, your winner there.
Baltimore.
And East.
Oh. I don't like the fact Buffalo has zero weapons. I am going to go with the Jets. They got a good defense. I'm not an Aaron Rodgers fan, but he's a pretty good quarterback.
He'll get hurt.
Well, there's a good chance he will. But I'm going to go with the Jets.
3 wild cards now.
We got to take Buffalo.
Now you're down to 2.
Probably going to have to take, oh boy, Cincinnati.
Now you just have 1.
That's Houston. That's a no-brainer. I'm leaving Indy out.
So no Chargers.
No, the Chargers aren't going to. No.
No Indianapolis. No Cleveland.
No Cleveland. No Miami.
Yeah, interesting. See, it's tougher to pick the AFC.
AFC is much more difficult.
That's a deeper conference. There's more teams to consider. You struggled to come up with a 7th team in the NFC.
I did.
You struggled not to go with 10 or 11 teams in the AFC.
You are correct. Because there's no reason why Miami can't get in there. There's no reason why Cleveland couldn't get in there, and Indianapolis. It'll be a dogfight to get those 3 wildcard spots, no question. The Chiefs have the best division to get out of, the easiest, I guess is probably a better way to put it.
Harbaugh will make some difference.
But he's not going to make that much difference, and they've lost all their weapons down there. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, they're all gone.
Yeah, they should be all gone. They weren't performing. So they still have Gus Edwards.
That's nothing.
They still have my man Joshua Palmer.
That's your man.
He's going to be good. He just needed to move some of this dead weight out.
Well, he should be the main target for Herbert. There's no question about that.
We'll see. DJ Chalk, he's on the verge of becoming a superstar.
Is he? Is he? Come on. Well, who are your picks then? I want your picks.
I'll make my picks later.
Oh, yeah. Here you go. Here it is.
I like Houston a lot, and I like Chicago a lot. And that's just where I am. I think in today's NFL, it's easier to get good in a hurry. Didn't used to be because nobody played rookie quarterbacks.
Never.
And when they did, they kind of put the shackles on them.
True.
Now
they let them go.
They turn them loose. And Caleb Williams is going to be really good.
Okay. I think you're a little higher on him than you should be.
Well, that's the good thing about it. Who do the Bears play right out of the chute?
Where are the Bears?
Am I a Bears fan?
It sounds like it. You were a Justin Fields fan, so you were a Bears fan. Now you're Caleb Williams.
I wasn't a Bears fan.
Oh, it was annoying.
They open with the Titans, then they go to Houston in week 2, and that's the Sunday night game. That game will be watched by everyone because of those 2 quarterbacks.
I would think probably yes.
Stroud and Williams. Can it get more exciting? I'm not saying they're the 2 best quarterbacks,
but for young
they might
kids,
be the 2 most exciting quarterbacks.
Well, they're 2 young kids, and everyone's going to be wanting to see if Stroud can continue from what he finished off the last 10, 12 games of last year, and obviously Caleb Williams being the number 1 draft pick with some weaponry around him. Can he actually be as good as people say?
Then they go to the
Colts. I don't think so.
Then they go to the Colts, Rams, Panthers, Jags at home, at Washington, at Arizona, Patriots at home, Packers at home, Vikings at home, at Detroit, at 49ers. They have an interesting schedule. There's some soft spots in there.
And then some rough spots.
Stop. Kevin Saal.
Just stop.
Kevin Saal joins us from Wichita State Athletics, the athletic director. Kevin, welcome.
Bob, how are you? Good to hear your voice. Hope you guys are doing well.
Yeah, we're doing well. So here we are. The storm about to hit. Wichita State volleyball opening this weekend. All the fall sports on the docket. How are you preparing? How are things looking?
No, we feel good about it. We've got an interesting volleyball program that had an exhibition game, played a lot of our roster against Kansas State on Saturday, and then they head off to Kennesaw this weekend. They've got Kennesaw State twice, and then they play a receiving boats Indiana. So that'll be a firm weekend for them in Northwest Georgia, and then they'll come back and play on the 4th of September, Kansas, as he normally does. Coach Lamb's got a gauntlet of a schedule the next weekend. He's in Fayetteville. He's got Arkansas, and then Arkansas Little Rock. We play Arizona State, Nebraska, Long Beach State. So we finally come back home on September 19th after all of those. We'll be a different volleyball team by then.
Kevin, how do you keep up with everything that's going on? I mean, the fall comes, you got volleyball, basketball, everything else that's happening. How difficult is it to keep up with everything? I'm sure you're getting calls from coaches about this and that. How difficult is it to make sure that you're on top of every sport that's going on at the time?
Well, we've got a staff of full-time coaches and administrators in that 80 to 90 range. And so obviously from a departmental structure, we're trying to stay on top of everything and provide first-class service. I think personally it really just comes down to organization. It comes down to your passion to see each team succeed and the journey that lies ahead for each one of them. You know, every single one of these events are on my calendar, and I have a pretty good understanding of where we are in the standings in different spots. So you can get wrapped up in it really quick, and we certainly have, and we look forward to a great year this year.
Kevin Saal, our guest, Wichita State Athletic Director. The men's basketball non-conference portion of the schedule released yesterday. I'm kind of a guy, Kevin, I've been around in this market as a media person a long time. I call it like I see it, for better or worse. I was a little underwhelmed by the non-conference schedule, and I was disheartened that there's no more Intrust Bank Arena game. We talked about that a couple of months ago, and you explained that. But still, I find it's a little disappointing for me. Tell me about this schedule and why you would obviously, I would take it for granted, that you would disagree with my comment about it being a little underwhelming.
Well, I think I tend to think about it in terms of teams that have. Listen, when we were managing underneath the RPI, the formula was pretty simple. If you could play neutral site and win, clearly that was helpful to your RPI. If you could get good road wins, and the games that you played at home, if you could select teams that had a reasonable chance to be in the top 2 in their league and potentially win their league, that was the formula for maximizing RPI. As we try to figure that out with the net, I look at this schedule and I look at the strength of teams, obviously, like Kansas State. I look at the strength of schedule that you will garner from a team like DePaul, who plays 20 games in the Big East. And certainly that will help us from a net standpoint. East Tennessee State has been to the NCAA tournament in the last 5 years. Montana State, with Coach Sprinkle before he went to Utah State, went on multiple occasions and has been the class of the Big Sky League, and certainly has an opportunity to win that. You guys are well familiar with Northern Iowa. We want to try to be able to do a Missouri Valley Conference foe consistently and regularly. And then, of course, you got St. Louis. We played St. Louis last year. They're projected to be a top 100 team in the country. And then we've got Minnesota. We know for first game, and then we're going to play Florida or Wake Forest. So there's certainly some spots of real strength in there, and we believe that we put together a schedule that when we do well in league and we do well from a non-conference standpoint, that we have a chance to be an at-large bid. And that's certainly the intent with the scheduling, is to get yourself into an at-large consideration.
I guess my pushback would be on that. Yeah, some of these schools that you're playing at home, especially, do pretty well in their league. But Wichita State needs an infusion of ticket sales. Does this schedule cause people to call the ticket office and say, "I want to get tickets"? That's my question.
Well, Bob, I do think there's a balance there, right? Because you could go out and schedule an absolute gauntlet of a schedule, and if you're not winning games, that doesn't inspire folks either. So I think there's a good balance there.
Okay.
Kevin, can you give us a little rundown on the basketball team? I'm sure you know a little bit more than we do, coming off of last year. What can we expect from the men's basketball team this year?
Well, I think as you watch the summer access, this summer with those guys being in town here for 6 weeks and having the opportunity to work out, do some nice things, and then you get back this fall, I think the one thing that you will notice if you watched a lot of practices last year to this year is that the competition at every position is really firm this year. You are seeing guys that are really, really getting after it. We've got, if you look at it globally, guys, I think that the important thing to understand, that I'm really proud of Coach Mills and the staff, is that we've returned 5 of our top 7 scorers from last year. We've got, we lost 3 to the transfer portal. The average team in our league lost 8, and there are several that lost double digits. So from a retention standpoint, we're performing better than our peers, and we certainly understand that retention is the name of the game, and roster continuity and all those things. So that piece has been really good. From an individual perspective, I think there's a lot of impressive storylines. Obviously Quincy Ballard continues to get better and better under both Mills and Quincy AC. You've got a really talented fifth-year senior coming from Lipscomb, and A.J. McGinnis, who's going to be a solid three-point shooter for us. Xavier Beld's working really, really hard at it. He's got some tremendous competition at the guard position with Justin Hill and Zion Pimpkin from Houston. You got Ronnie DeGray coming back. T.J. Williams, who was at Heights, has been doing really well. And then you've got some real size up the middle with Quincy, with Zane, and with the young man from Croatia, Mate, that we are working to get eligible as well. And all three of those guys are different in terms of their style of play, but you got 6'11", 6'10", and 6'9" up the middle. So a lot of really good things going on. It's deep at the guard position. I think they're going to be able to run well. I think you're going to see a lot of different lineups, and I think Coach Mills and the staff are going to be able to make it a really tough game for many of our opponents.
Talking Wichita State Athletics with the top guy, Kevin Saal, athletic director. So I've been reading a lot about schools hiring general managers for their men's basketball programs. With the NIL now on board, it seems like that's probably a way this was all headed. How prevalent do you think that's going to become, and is Wichita State headed down that road?
Well, we don't certainly right now have a GM for every sport that is utilizing NIL, but we do have with the Wheat Shot Collective, we have a general manager, which is a full-time staff position that we actually share the financial obligation with Blueprint Sports, who's our partner in the NIL space. And the individual that's serving that role is in our executive staff suite. Her name's Emily Hebert. She was a 2018 graduate of our volleyball program and has been doing an amazing job in leading up our NIL collective. So she works directly with our head coaches and implementing all those things. And so to your point, Bob, I think it definitely is heading in that direction. I would anticipate in the next 6 months that the nonprofit collectives will go away, and that will be absorbed within athletics programs. And obviously Emily would continue to do that for us departmentally. So she's doing an unbelievable job. And, hey, Bob, I think your question's really good on the schedule, and I think there's one element that I thought of that would be worth noting as well. So the American Athletic Conference subscribes to competitive scheduling in such a way as they try to project their top 3 or 4 teams in the league. And they try to create the toughest strength of schedule within the league for those top 3 or 4 to help maximize the at-larges. And our league had us positioned at 3rd this year. So we would anticipate we will have likely the 3rd toughest league schedule as well. And so obviously that plays into account in terms of what you're doing from a non-conference standpoint as well. And you've seen those home-road matchups. We should get dates by mid-September and then have that full set schedule complete once television makes their selections. But I think that's an important point to make, that we'll have one of the more firm league schedules based on where they project us.
Okay, final moments here with Kevin Saal, and back to the GM and the collective thing. What I was reading, or at least what I thought I was reading, was that these GMs were specific to a particular sport. Do you see that happening in college athletics?
We certainly have seen that, because if you're a football program at the Division I space and you've got anywhere between $3 and $6 million in NIL to organize and distribute amongst what could potentially be 105 young men, that's a big job. And it's more than what a sports-specific staff or a general GM like we have here could manage. Obviously, that's different when you don't have football. I think our model is really good. I think you see those two models pretty frequently, where you might have one centralized GM in a department, and you might have some sports-specific GMs. I think as you get to the Power 5 level, you're going to see some sports-specific GMs for both football and basketball. We're just not in that space. We're kind of in the a middle ground, if you will.
Have we been on this road now long enough with NIL and transfer portal that your vision for 5 years down the road is any clearer? Do you have a better idea of where this might be headed, how college athletics will look in 5 years?
Yeah, I think the as I mentioned, the nonprofit collectives will go away, and I think it will be the for-profit collective. So in other words, the true sponsors and advertising and the name, image, likeness associated with that. That's not necessarily what we have right now. And so what's going to end up happening is those nonprofits will go away. And we believe that in the next 6 to 9 months that athletic departments will be able to raise funds within athletics and then distribute it in the name of revenue share. And so you're seeing three things that are coming about here in the next 6 to 9 months. We have the retroactive NIL payments in form of the House settlement. Wichita State's commitment to that for the next 10 years per year will be $650,000. We expect that revenue share will probably be in the $2 to $3 million range. And then you've got your roster maximums, where the NCAA has said you take an old baseball number of 11.7 scholarships. You're going to have permissive legislation to take you up to 34 scholarships. So you start to get in this discussion about what do you need to get competitive? Do we need 34 full scholarships? Do we need 31, 60% scholarships? And so you're having all those conversations and modeling those things out. But at the end of the day, the additional expenses for a department like Wichita State could very easily be in the $5 to $9 million with those three elements. And so that gives you some sense on where we're headed from a financial perspective. Certainly will be a heavy lift for us, and our objective is to remain competitive in all sports, and that's where we'll approach it moving forward. But it does give us a little bit more clarity. I'm encouraged by where we are from an NIL perspective. Last year, the collective distributed about $340,000, and it's going to be closer to $1 million this year. So there certainly has been growth in that area, and that continued growth will help us to not only recruit but retain elite level talent.
Incredible stuff. Kevin, I really appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on. We'll talk to you in September.
Sounds good, Bob. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. You guys have a great day, and go Shockers.
All right, Kevin Saal, Wichita State Athletic Director. There you go. It's just fascinating to me how quickly this stuff is changing. Don't forget, everybody, we've got Cody Jinks promotion going on here on KFH. You can text Cody to the short code 20357, and you'll be eligible to win tickets to see Cody Jinks at Intrust Bank Arena coming up on November 23rd at 7:30 p.m. Message and data rates apply. Your opportunity to see Cody Jinks here in Wichita coming up in November. We'll take a break, come back with Denise Neal next.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
From the mind of a 2-foot-tall talking spokes puppet comes this year's biggest challenge. It's time for Bob's Dare to Compare, the hottest game show on TV that asks, what happens when you compare Bob's to the competition? You get style. You get quality. You get beeps and boops and dings and whomps. And thousands of dollars in savings. Everyone's a winner when you dare to compare with Bob's Discount Furniture. Shop in store or at mybobs.com to play now.
Trying to figure out what to eat for dinner yet again? With Knorr sides and bouillon as your not-so-secret ingredient, you can skip the drive-thru and do dinner at home. Knorr Taste Combos provide a menu of delicious, affordable, and well-balanced meals that you can prepare in 30 minutes or less. Visit Knorr.com to get quick and easy recipe ideas for your home-cooked weeknight dinners. It's not fast food, but it's so good.
It's a great day to venture out in a spacious and capable Toyota SUV, like the new RAV4. With available all-wheel drive, it can go just about anywhere. And with plenty of passenger and cargo space, you'll go from morning carpool to weekend road trip without missing a beat. Plus, with available features like wireless charging and a touchscreen interface, your Toyota RAV4 will keep you connected no matter where you're going. Or check out a spacious Highlander. With seating for up to 8, it's a hub for family adventure. You'll drive in comfort and style with available heated and ventilated seats and all the latest tech. And with available hybrid models, your new Highlander can save you tons on gas. Right now, your local Toyota dealer has more vehicles in stock and is making delivery on new vehicles almost every day. So don't wait. Buy a RAV4 or Highlander today. Visit buyatoyota.com for deals and more. Toyota. Let's go places.
For the first time, U.S. subscribers can stream MLB Network 24/7, including select out-of-market games.
Swing and a drive. It's deep. It's gone. Yes!
Stream minor league affiliates.
Home run number 1. For track pick number 1.
Plus, get MLB Big Inning and live audio for all 30 teams.
Baseball can't get better than this.
Experience the game like never before with MLB Network and At-Bat, your all-in-one baseball destination. Only $6.99 per month. Visit MLB.com/atbat for details. Blackout and other restrictions apply. MLB trademarks used with permission.